Audio test. Audio test. Okay, audio is working. YouTube folks, give me a minute. This is the first time I'm trying the stream setup in my place at Latin Academy, so I have to make sure I have everything optimized to make sure my numbers look okay. Okay. Sorry, I'll respond to these chat comments in just a second. I'm just trying to get a feel for where my camera bounds are. Okay. Okay, am I in the green? I am in the green. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Phil Gallagher. I'm currently streaming from Randolph-Macon College. I'm going to spend the next 3 weeks teaching a spoken Latin course for Virginia's Governor's Latin Academy. So that's why my stream schedule is going to be a little bumpy for the next couple of weeks. I am doing well. We had our first day of classes yesterday. I have 45 students split into 3 classes of 15 for when we actually have classes, but most of the activities have 45 students all working together. So essentially my course is going to be teaching them enough spoken Latin so they can buy and sell things in a marketplace activity, as well as perform a play in Latin. Pretty ambitious for 3 weeks, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And Master, thank you very much for subscribing. That's your 4th month in a row. That means a lot to me. Thank you for your continued support. So this is my test stream to kind of see what the quality is like. So later on in the stream, after I've been streaming for a little while, I'll probably just kind of ask you all some questions, make sure this is at least like my normal video quality. I wanted to do something quick this morning because I've got probably about 2 hours, so I decided to play Red Prison this morning. I'm really just like biding my time and just waiting for Brightling to be released online because that card is absolutely nutty, and I'm really looking forward to playing with it. This is the same Red Prison list I've been playing forever, so I'm not going to say anything special about it. I'm just going to go directly into some games, and we'll see if we can just hate some people out. I also may have forgotten my speakers at home, thinking I wouldn't need them. So I won't have any sound. So for those of you that didn't want sound on videos, well, you luck out for a couple of weeks. So for like day-to-day activities like classes and stuff, no. But like they're going to have elections tonight, and they will be in Roman attire for that. So lots of togas and such. Looks like my opponent plays either... Oh, it looks like they play like a big Eldrazi deck. So what did my hand do? My hand goes turn 1 Chalice, which is not great against big Eldrazi. But like Rabble Master is a ton of pressure. If I just do that on turn 1, that's pretty good. This is not going back, I don't think. Like, I can save the Chalice and put the Chalice on 2, I guess, and stop, like, Warping Whale and Monolith. If they aren't Eldrazi, though, and they've switched to something else, like, this hand is crazy good. I don't think I'm going to throw this back. They've also mulliganed once, so their hand might not be the most explosive thing in the world. Ah, you put a chalice on one, so I didn't have to. Why, thank you. Yes! So this means I have my opponent on a 3-turn clock with double Rabblemaster. So that's actually quite good in this matchup. That's a ton of pressure, especially after a mulligan. That is not good for me. So, okay, spatial contortions and warping whales. If I just put this chalice on 2, as well as maybe some weird stuff like Spyglass, Ozur's Gateway, and Monolith. So I guess I'm gonna do that with my turn. And I guess I can attack him with a Rabblemaster. Because if my opponent trades for the Rabblemaster, then I do still have 2 damage of pressure a turn. Which isn't the greatest, but I don't think I can just, like, sit back and do nothing. So, I'm not sure exactly what it means that my opponent just is not willing to trade this Thought-Knots here. It might mean that they have another big creature, like an Endbringer. Nope, no Endbringer. Moonman is awesome for me. Yeah, that's what I think should have happened last turn. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just play both of these this turn, and just have redundant hate. Sounds very good to me. So now, in order for my opponent to get colorless mana, they need something like a Thran Dynamo. Grim Monolith isn't going to do it. Warping Whale isn't going to do it. So this might win the game. This might be like a Simian Spirit Guide to block. Yep. And the opponent just scoops it up there. Sorry for all the awkward posing. The desk that I'm at is made for like people who don't do any sort of computer stuff. So for example, a my PC tower does not actually fit under the desk. It's sticking out about 1.5 feet, which is why I'm like so far back. It's a little ridiculous. And the desk is only large enough for like my monitor and mouse and keyboard, not for my second laptop screen. So it's a little awkward. All right, these Chalice of the Voids can get right on out of the deck. I don't really want those. Bridge is so-so. I can probably like cut a bridge or two in hopes of just like being more aggressive and closing the game. Like in that capacity, like Scab Clan Berserker might not be the worst either. I don't really want Trinosphere. Yeah, a basic planes, I'm with you there. So like I kind of want to trim some bridges as well. My opponent is going to have like Thought-Knots, Endbringers, Olamog, Karn as win conditions, maybe Ugin. So I kind of just want to bring in the Scab Clan Berserkers because they have a lot of non-creature spells. Actually, maybe Chaos Warp is just like too risky and might backfire. But it does answer some of the big stupid stuff well. This is probably fine. Turn 1 Blood Moon, you say? Okay. So I can go 1, 2, 3 imprint, 4 mana. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana imprinting this. I could go like turn 1 Abrade Monolith and Blood Moon, but that might be going too turbo on my resources. I could probably just go like City, Chromox, Imprint, Spirit Guide, Moon. Second turn, play land, have 3, 4 mana. I think Moon and Abrade is too aggro. I think I choose Moon or Abrade this turn. And then do the other as a follow-up next turn, and then Rabble Master the turn after. So next turn, I have 1, 2, 3, potentially 4, 5, 6 mana. if I'm willing to lose the city. Otherwise, I have 1, 2, 3, play moon, 4, 5, play a braid. I'm gonna just abrade this. It probably stops more of the degenerate plays. Alright, so I think I just want to go 1, 2, 3, play actual moon, then play city. I don't want to play Magus in case my opponent has like a 2-mana colorless removal spell. And I don't think I need to just throw away my city and my spirit guide in order to get like a Rabble Master or a Magus in play this turn. I think I can just wait that out. I'd rather just like have the absolute safety and guarantee of being able to cast anything. Like if I keep the Spirit Guide and the land, if I draw like a Chandra or a Fiery Confluence, I can just cast it. And I think that matters. A Karn, you say? I guess you can have an Eldrazi Temple. And I will pressure the Karn. Karn is a problem. Like, I can go after their life total, but if they just, like, get rid of my Goblin Rabble Master somehow, I would really regret not getting this off the table. So my Rabble Master's going to get chump blocked, and Karn's going to go to 1. Futurama was a fine show. I'm not as crazy about it as other people are. But but I respect it for what it is. Like, I grew up just kind of casually watching it. Yes, opponent was looking for the happy place. Did not find it. Man, I'm getting so tired of waiting for Brightling to be on Moto. That card is so fun and so powerful. And I played it that first weekend, and a lot of people were like, why exactly are you playing that? And I kept, like, swearing up and down it's good. And a lot of people were still skeptical, but now you keep seeing these reports everywhere, like on the source and Reddit, where it's like, wow, Brightling is insane. And I've started to see, like, other people test it out in, like, Miracles and Stoneblade decks and whatnot. Cards great. Really looking forward to doing, like, some serious testing with it. Still like 2 weeks online, which is brutal. So I'm going first, and I get a turn 2 Moonman, turn 3 Rabblemaster. That's fine. This isn't like the best hand blind, not knowing what my opponent is playing, but I'm not throwing it back. Morning, Echo. Echo, I don't remember what the card's called, but I think it's unplayable. Like, for our purposes, Path to Exile basically does the same thing, but has more flexibility. Like, I think the ability to go and hit things like Gurmag Angler and Merit Lodge is way more important than being able to hit things like Pithing Needle and Ether Vial. Yeah, so I think Brightling will release a little bit before Latin Academy is over, so I'll try to do a Brightling stream or two as I have time, but things are a little weird here in terms of, like, what I can do in my free time. So I could be playing Eldrazi, or I could be playing the Mirror. If I'm playing the Mirror, then I probably just want to shove with Rabblemaster this turn. If I'm playing Eldrazi, I want to Moonman this turn. I'm going to shove with Rabblemaster. Nice to have you around, Zach. Mir, I am rewarded. So how do I want to do this? There's an argument for just playing the Magus to try to take my opponent off of mana to like get to 4 to Fiery Confluence my board. So I can hit it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 this turn. That puts my opponent to 9. And if I play Magus, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 next turn. So like just playing Magus alone is lethal. So maybe I should just do that rather than bash with the Rabble Master to play around a first sweeper. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take the 2 damage in order to do this. Just in case this Magus gets removed by a sweeper, I don't really want to lose my lands. Alright. We won the die roll, so we won that match, basically. Alright. So we're probably going like Chalice out, Trinisphere out, Blood Moon out. Alright, let's see how much I have to bring in. I'll just like bring in anything that can present pressure. I'll bring in these. Guess I can like cut 1 bridge and call that good. The Chaos Warp's kind of questionable. Can answer an opposing Planeswalker through a bridge, which matters. But like you might just send them into another permanent. This is really for like super unfair stuff. Maybe it's fine. Like it could be better than like another bridge. This is a slow hand, but it has the right sort of things that I'm looking for in the matchup. There aren't that many cards that matter too much. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this with the intention of like casting a Braid on turn 2 on something. It doesn't really matter what. I don't really want to throw away any of my cards to Chrome Mox. Like, if possible, I don't really want to, like, put this second Chandra under there. I'll do it next turn if my opponent doesn't play it. Yeah, I'll do it now since my opponent didn't play anything. No, I won't be able to make it to Atlanta, unfortunately. I see you also have a Chandra. Let us play the awkward Chandra race game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6 mana this turn. I could go up to 8 mana. Well, okay. So I actually think I want to Abrade the Magus just to push damage, because I'm really close to just killing my opponent. Well, that's kind of nutty. Six damage to each opponent. Cast. Yeah, oh shucks, I revealed a Planeswalker off of my Chandra. Oh rats. Alright, well that was easy. Yeah, Master, that Karn is absolutely insane. Like, I've never played with it in a format other than Legacy or Vintage, but I imagine that in lower power level formats, that card can be just nutty. It has a like surprising amount of starting loyalty, right? Like, so at 4 mana it has 5 and pluses to 6. That's a lot, especially considering that it can just be jammed into any deck. Like, it's definitely more broken in the older formats because you have all of the really good acceleration to power it out. But when like the Planeswalkers are harder to kill, just like dropping a turn 3 Karn or something like that in another format just seems very powerful. Yeah, I've really wanted to play this in like Mud or Affinity or something like that, where like when you minus, you just create a stupid size duder. Like say you're playing a bunch of like artifact lands or Moxen or something like that. When you go and minus Karn, in addition to all of your permanents, it also gets to count your lands. That's just so delicious. Oh wow, is it being mainboarded in Affinity and Modern? That's neat. I 100% believe it. Oh, Moto Cube. Alright, chat. Anyone have some good questions? It looks like we're going to be here for a little while waiting on this. Throw it out there. Give me something good to talk about. We spend more time in the queues than playing games. Yeah, our games have gone quickly. That's for sure. This is a turn 2 Chandra hand, so I'm probably keeping it. I'll look at it more carefully in a second. So I think my opponent is a D&T player. Potentia, they will return very frequently as soon as Brightling is released. Okay, so if you like Yuki Yuna is a hero, Madoka Magica is really, really good and is along similar lines. So if you like one of those, the other will be very, very good. Okay, you've seen that one. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to like actually kill this Mother of Runes with Chandra, or whether I don't care. I kind of want to kill it, because I can kill it, get it out of the way, Chandra for mana, Karn next turn, and then like Rabble later. Yes, Minifer, that is. It is a show that hits on everything that I want from anime. Yeah, so like Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, and Fate Apocrypha are all really good. Like if you like one of those, you're gonna like all of them pretty easily. Okay, so I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana this turn. So I can go like Karn and Rabble Master this turn, which seems disgusting. Hmm. I'm debating what I want to do with this Karn. I don't think it's an aggressive card right now. I think I just want to like draw some more lands. Alright, so there's a Trinisphere out there. The Fate series has some really stellar villains. Caster from Fate, I think it was Fate Zero, was one of my favorite villains I've seen in a while. Yeah, good luck. You only get one of these. Yeah, I don't understand my opponent's line either. Hmm. We'll see if they want to trade for the Rabble Master. No? Okay. No, if my opponent played 2 Vials on turn 2, then they had to have one of them on turn 1. I don't really know that, like, Flicker Wisp a Goblin token is much better than just, like, port my city and pray to keep me out of, like, this range. So I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana this turn, and I can just get Hellbent and plus this Chandra to victory. I mean, our opponent has had D&T on Moto for at least a year. Well, not quite a year, but like for a considerable chunk of time. Like they have finishes from last year with the card, with the deck. So take that for what you will. Actually, do I want this Rabble Master? I probably do. It's problematic. But just like getting the damage in this way might be better. I'm gonna play it. Why do you think first Rabble attack was a mistake? HC Fox or US Psychic? Because unless you know to play around P and K, that's not something we should be like thinking about. So I'm thinking about what I want to do with this Fiery Confluence. I can just do 1 to the board, kill the Thopters, Revokers, and the Goblins, keep my Rabble Master, but they keep their P and K, so they can kill my Chandra. Or I can just, like, plus do 2 to the board, but this would let them get their port back. And porting me off my city means I might have some difficulty casting a card if something happens to my Chandra. But that's probably fine. I think I like 2 to the board. Because that means I also do get a Karn activation, and I can just, like, Karn dig for more stuff. So I think I like nuking the entire board, but I'm going to attack first to see if I can just get them to take some damage and kill them with a Confluence. This also might put some damage on the P and K, meaning that I can just wipe the board for 1. Alright, they just made it easy. Well, I can't hit him for 6 and Chandra because my, like, and Chandra plus for damage because the City of Traders was a mountain. And the Chrome Box didn't have anything imprinted on it. Alright. So Magus is gonna... Oh. Magus is gonna come out. Rabble Master is gonna come out. Trinisphere is going to come out. And I think I usually cut a Chrome Mox. That'll give us a Braid, Spyglass, Confluence, Kozilek's Return, Sulfur Elemental. Bye, Master. Compacted D, I only have 1 card in hand. Moonman cannot swing. Yeah, sideboard's well built for D&T. So... I guess I'll leave Chrome Mox and 1 Rabble. Rival's just like so scary when the opponent has like Batterskull and Jitte though. Could just keep one Trinisphere. That card's kind of annoying. This hand is just like asking to die to a Revoker. Well, this is going to be a turn 1 or a turn 2 Chandra, so this is fine. If they play a Vial on 1, and I Spyglass it on turn 1 off of Chandra, I probably just win. So if I put this on top, this is a YOLO hand, where I go like Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox, Imprint a Braid, Spirit Guide, play Chandra, plus Chandra for mana, Sorceress Spyglass, name Vial, unless they have something else I need to name. I accept the YOLO. Ooh. Accepting the YOLO is rewarded. Man, if they don't draw the land for that Disenchant, they are like mega boned. I do think my opponent last turn should have played a second Vial, so that this turn, if they rip the land, they can go, like, Disenchant and, like, put in Mom and Thalia. Like, Thalia now, Mom at my end step. Like, I do think that's a pretty significant misplay. Yeah, this is worth it. So, like, right now my opponent could have a Vial on 2 and a Vial on 3, but they don't. And now their other Aether Vials cost them 3 mana, so it costs them their entire turn. Little misplays matter a lot. Whiffing there kind of sucks, but it's fine. Also, like, why on earth does my opponent have Disenchant in their deck? Like, I don't think that's a reasonable card in the current metagame. Yeah, like a Sulfur Elemental would be insane. A bridge would be amazing. This stuff's not live right now. Kozilek's turn would be nutty. Chrome Mox less good. Let's see. I can just play this now for no value because this probably doesn't matter. If I draw a bridge next turn, I go 1, 2, 3, 4 and play it, and then 1, 2, 3 and play this. But if they have a Wingmare, then that's bad for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and cast this now. Alright, I bottomed out pretty hard that game. I was pretty far ahead. I guess on the play I can consider one Rabble Master over this Trinisphere, but the Rabble Master isn't amazing. This hand's pretty bad. Like, it doesn't do anything. Like, this is essentially just Ensnaring Bridge and mana. And the Ensnaring Bridge is going to take many turns to matter. I probably need to ship this one. This is fine. That's great. That'll go on top. Yeah, Wasteland into Revoker would be rough. But my opponent can't close quickly. So I can probably get huge value off this K return. Do I want to Chalice for 0 just to get the Chalice out of my hand? I think I do. It would shut off a future Chrome Mox, but a future Chrome Mox is already pretty bad. Yeah, so like all I need to do is hit lands in order to get 2k return. And then like bridge plus some land will somehow manage to win the game once the stuff's gone. Yeah, absolutely has to hit the Mox. I also think there's probably a real argument for attacking with Mom in the previous 2 turns. I can still spike a Soul Land and just, like, absolutely get there. I would not have played out that Mom. Alright, that happens. Opponent did not necessarily play well that round. And I think some of their deck choices are probably loose. But scoreboard. Yeah, like my opponent played Disenchant over Relic Warder, which I think Relic Warder is just like night and day better right now because the ability to tutor up that card matters so much. And like Disenchant not playing well with Thalia matters a lot. So, and like when I can avoid it, I don't want to play too many instants and sorceries, like just because of like the incidental graveyard fueling, like it matters. Yeah, man, I didn't turn 1 Chalice. It's not a thing that happened. Opponent threw so many Aether Vials over those games. I should have just done that. Would have been easy. So I don't know that I like seriously can consider the 6-card hand. Like, it's just a bridge and land. if my opponent gets out ahead of me with like Vial into like Port or Wasteland to tie up that mana while also producing pressure, like my hand is going to be clunked up and the bridge isn't even going to be doing it much. So I don't think that's reasonable. I think I have to have a real good game plan to keep a hand, and my game plan for that 6-card hand would have been like be lucky. I don't know that I like that. Whereas, like, since I have all of those Kozilek's returns and Sulfur Elementals and stuff in the sideboard, like, a hand that has one of those has a much stronger game plan than, like, oh, I hope I draw something. So I think the mulligan's correct there. Like, a hand that has one of these and just, like, 2 lands would be much better than that 6-card hand. So, like, I think the mulligan's fine. No, I don't think I have to be particularly more lucky with a 5-card hand, like, to at least have a good starting game plan, right? So, like, a 5-card hand that has 2 mana sources plus one of these cards or one of these cards or even this is just going to be, like, so much better than what I had started with. And the lower I mulligan, the better bridge gets, so I think it's fine. So while we wait in this infinitely long queue, hello, my name is Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University, which is a site dedicated to legacy, death, and taxes. Today I am playing Red Prison. The deck list is here. It's based very heavily on Zach Tyrgian's deck list. I took his P and K out of the deck list and added a Trinisphere, but otherwise it's the same thing. I've been playing it for a while. It feels really, really solid. Alright, in we go. So I go turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Trinisphere. Min, we're doing it. We're going to cast a turn 1 Chalice. You'll be so happy. Oh, it's even a deck that a turn 1 Chalice is going to be good against. Come at me. Daze, Force, Spell Pierce, Brainstorm? What do I think about the Legacy metagame? Deathray Shaman, Deathray Shaman, Deathray Shaman, Deathray Shaman, Deathray Shaman. It's basically the metagame. Oh, wow, it just resolved. That's surprising. Maybe my opponent's show and tell and they're just gonna, like, wreck me right now. In all seriousness, though, the Legacy metagame is not particularly diverse right now. There is a lot of Deathrite Shaman mush, as people have affectionately been calling it. It doesn't feel particularly healthy to me. Like, it's very fair, but I'm not overly excited right now. Let's put it that way. Good luck with this combination, opponent. Oh yeah, we're most certainly playing against Pile. Jesus, everything's just resolving? How? So I can't actually play my Chrome Mox due to my own Trinisphere, so I just have to pass the turn here. One, two, three. Okay, so if I play this second Rabble Master, I go to make 2 goblins. 1, 2, 3. It's for each attacking goblin, right? So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, and my opponent just scoops it up. I don't even need to think about it. But I probably just would have played second Magus there because my opponent was probably going to be on a 2-turn clock no matter what. Alright, so against Pile, let's see, we go Bridge out, Spyglass for walkers in, Fiery Confluence for walkers in, Chaos Warp for walkers in. That's probably it. I can also consider cutting some number of Chrome Mox just for other cards. Like sometimes I played the Scab Clan Berserkers. They're not great against Baleful Strix, but like they're a threat. They can trade with the Leovold once they're renowned. I might want the Chrome Moxen when I'm on the draw to kind of like take the play back, so to speak. But this is probably fine. Turn 1 Blood Moon, you say? Okay. If that doesn't work, turn 2 Karn. Also okay. Yeah, like, Delver is just unquestionably the best deck in the format. You know, Pile is the best control deck, and even some of your, like, combo decks are also just playing Deathrite Shaman as well, so it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm really hoping to see the like Deathrite Shaman ban happened before the Grand. Huh. Is this gonna be like Ant or Doomsday or something? Alright. Well, if they go off on turn 1, we weren't beating them anyway. Or Tess? Yeah, it was Tess. I guess that explained why they didn't play anything. The brainstorm that we interpreted as being for digging for a counterspell was actually a brainstorm just to cast it before they couldn't cast it. Opponent is not doing great with their ad nauseam here. That helps. Is that enough? Oh, geez. They are now dead to a fiery confluence. They need one more ritual here, right? Because they can go Petal. No, they can just go like Petal, Petal, right, empty. Because there's already one right in the graveyard, so right adds 3. So they can produce 4 mana and just empty here. But, like, I have Fiery Confluence on like, in hand. So I will just wipe that on turn 2. Let's see what they do. Because it might be more effective to, like, not go off completely here and, like, duress me. But they might have some weird Burning Wish target that I don't know about. Oh, shoot, I missed a Chrome Mox. So they can Chrome Mox, Imprint Tutor, duress, and then empty. Or that 1 mana also might let them just win. So I just missed it. Okay, so that's Imprint Duress. So then that's Rite of Flame. So it's 3, 4, 5 mana, down to 3 mana, crack for black, get Tendrils out of board, kill. I should just be dead. I should not have the chance to Confluence. Okay. So let's undo my sideboarding. I just want to, like, I'm not going to keep these in. I just, like, want to start at my normal configuration. Alright, so this is Chandra out, Bridge out, Berserkers in, Confluence in. And Kozilek's Return in for goblins. My notes say one Abrade in. I guess that can just hit artifact mana that's played out. I don't know if that's actually just better than a Chandra. Which is better, one Abrade or one Chandra? Like, Chandra is really slow, but, like, it is a win condition, and Abrade is, like, super minimal disruption. Zardian, instead of playing Eidolon, we play Scabclan Berserker, which is basically the same thing. But the extra mana doesn't matter to us, so it being more aggressive is great. It's also one-sided, which matters. I guess if I Trinisphere, the one Abrade can be good, right? Like, I play a Trinisphere, they play out an LED, I actually get to kill it with Abrade. I'll follow Zach's notes. So I go Great Furnace, Imprint with Chrome Mox, Great Furnace, Imprint, a Moon with Chrome Mox, Exile Spirit Guide, play turn 1 Magus of the Moon before my opponent fetches. Is that good enough? Or should I mull to a Chalice or Sphere or Berserker? This is tricky. Because, like, since my opponent has red rituals instead of just black rituals, a turn 1 Blood Moon isn't as good against this deck as it is against Ant. So if they just get, like, a Petal to give them black, then they can just kind of go from there. This isn't amazing. But I'm going to keep it. And no, I'm going to play the Magus for pressure. So with the nature of this hand, I'm only going to be able to produce 2 mana, and I'm kind of going all in on this Magus. So, like, if they can Burning Wish for an answer to it, I hope to have drawn something else by then, or I can sandbag the second Magus if I need to do something like that. Yes, a slower cantrip-based hand is really what I am hoping for from them. Apparently not dead. I don't envision myself having a ton of time, though. Alright. So what do I hit for next turn if I have Karn minus, Karn minus? So I'll make a 1-2, I'll make a 3-3, it'll turn into a 4-4, so next turn I hit for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not lethal. So I'd rather plus and try to find a hate piece, which I did not succeed in. So I guess this turn I'll make a Deuter, it'll be a 3-3, and then I'll present lethal the following turn. That one was one on narrow margins. Like, I don't know what was in my opponent's hand, but I imagine it was pretty close. And like, this is why I was a little worried about just keeping a turn 1 moon hand, because like I did not take my opponent off of very much, if any, mana that game. I have to take a look at this message. Sorry, one moment, chat. So I just want to like think about my mulligan a little bit more. So I have 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 cards that are much, much stronger than what I had there. The Scab Clan Berserker is a little tricky to play turn 1. It's more realistically a turn 2 play. So, well, we'll cut that off there. Hand was very borderline. Okay, what does my hand do? My hand can turn 1 Ensnaring Bridge. Can turn 2 Magus. I think I can do better than this blind. This hand needs another land. I'll keep this on the draw. And that'll go to the bottom. Latin Academy has been going well. The kids got here Sunday. Yesterday was the first day of classes. It's very busy. Every other morning I get a little bit of time off because we have like Latin days and then we have Greek days for classes. So I teach on the Latin day, so I have about a 3-hour time slot every other morning where I'm like legitimately having real free time. Otherwise I'm working for most of the day between like 8 a.m. and 10 or 11 p.m. So the days are really long. And there's a lot of like pseudo downtime where I'm just like supervising while doing some light work. So it's not like vigorous work all day. But it's very much a job where you're on most of the time. Tonight, they will be having elections, and they will be appointing their officers for various Latin Academy things. So it'll be super fun. We'll have like a dinner in like Roman garb, the togas, and all that jazz, and we'll then like have speeches. And they were making election graffiti last night. It's really cool. Ooh, therapy. Maybe we're playing against Ant again. I might just name Spirit Guide if I were my opponent. Like 100% honestly. I don't know what deck they are for like 100% for sure. Well, apparently this, yeah. I agree with that. So now like a Soul Land or a Spirit Guide or a Mox would be my best draws. Alright, so we're probably playing against the Delver variant that just happens to run Bitter Blossom in the main deck. Which is pretty good against us. Because it's a threat you can just like play out while you still have mana, and it just like keeps producing threats, so something like Fiery Confluence isn't great against it. The fairies also attack pretty well through Bridge. So Zardian, during the school year, I teach in Roanoke, Virginia, in America, where I am a middle and high school Latin teacher. That's good synergy. I like that. Right now, I am teaching at a college called Randolph-Macon College, and I'm teaching an intensive summer spoken Latin course to some of the best students in the state. There's a selection process that they get to apply for, and then the government pays for this program. Yes, all signs are pointing to Grixis Delver. We'll call that the confirmation. Potentia, I hope you get a chance to take some Latin. It's very, very useful if you are going down that career path. Like, so much of that is thrown your direction that, like, understanding any amount of it can just be very helpful. Yeah, so, Bosk, like, the Bitter Blossom thing that we're seeing here is just, like, a side effect of Deathrite Shaman, because, like, the format is just becoming, like, so absurdly, like, grindy and based around these Deathrite fights. So if you have an enchantment that can stick around and give you an edge through, like, trading resources, this is just disgusting. I'm Latin and I don't speak it. See what you did there, Romario. Alright. So what am I doing with my life? I can just attempt the Confluence, it probably gets countered. Or I can attempt the Chandra, it probably gets countered. Or I can attempt the Bridge, it probably gets countered. So what's my highest upside if something resolves? Probably Chandra. No, I guess Chandra, like, would just trade with the Delver, right? So, like, long term, I need this bridge to resolve, and I need to get Hellbent. My opponent probably wouldn't counter a Karn if I played it. It's not great, and they could just, like, attack it and get it. Like, jam Rabblemaster? Like, Rabblemaster just gets chump blocked by Fairy. And they have a Lightning Bolt, so that's probably bad. I'm going to attempt the Fiery Confluence as a sweeper. It's probably not going to work. And then I'll play Chandra the next turn. Yep. So, like, it's try to play one of Chandra or Fiery Confluence this turn and the other the next turn. If I play Chandra now and it actually gets to resolve next turn, and I draw a land, I can Chandra plus Bridge, which seems pretty sweet. If my opponent has 2 counter spells, I just can't beat them, basically, no matter what they're doing. I expect this to get countered, too. Like, my opponent's been doing an awful lot of nothing over there, yeah. So now I'm going to take 5, and... Yep. I'm dead. Yeah, the Bitter Blossom's very, very good. I've been preaching enchantments for a long time. And this is a hell of an enchantment. It's very annoying for D&T to fight as well, as someone in the chat was suggesting. Oh man, they can play a big fish too. Oh yeah, Super got Delvered. Alright. So we go Rival Masters out. 1 Karn out for a Braids in. Kozilek's return in. Confluence in. I'm going to take 30 seconds to use the restroom real quick. Uh, turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Kozilek's Return is okay. But this is a hand where if I just get, like, forced then wastelanded, I'm super cold. But no fear. Strangely, this color scheme of black door, white trim, gray walls, and wood closet work well. Yeah, I mean, for a college dorm room, this is fine, right? It's nothing special, but you're not disappointed by any means. Although being in an extra long twin bed is rough. Like I have a queen at home, and I miss the elbow room. Quick, what's feng shui in Latin? I'm going to play this out here to play around a Spell Pierce. In all seriousness, though, like, trying to translate foreign words that are, like, concepts into Latin, that's hard. Alright, you get to abrade my chalice, but now all your stuff's pricey. You have a force for the Stratosphere? Because you didn't have a force for the chalice, or at least you didn't use one if you had the abrade. Why do you play Returns over Fallout? Mother of Runes is a big one. The damage to yourself is important. In a matchup like Delver, if you're casting a card that does damage to you, that's rough when you're also an Ancient Tomb deck and you're trying to stabilize after they get ahead in the early game. So those are some of the big reasons. The uncounterable aspect of it doesn't matter as much as you think it might. Oh man, opponent was F6 there. I guess that's because of Trinosphere, though. Well, that seems pretty good. But I'm going to plus this Chandra first. No, I won't play that Blood Moon. I'll play this Blood Moon. And this is just so that I can deal the extra damage, because this Blood Moon is coming down uncounterably. And we're donezo. Yes, Fallout is also double red. That really matters, because it's really hard to get double red turn 1, but red and colorless turn 1, like, that's totally reasonable. Huh. Zach's notes say on the draw that I should cut a Chrome Mox for a Karn. I don't know that that makes a lot of sense to me. I like Go Now. So I'm going to ignore that, I think. This is a very average hand. I'm going to keep it, but I'm not thrilled about this hand. It's soft to Probe Therapy. So this deck's worst matchups are decks that largely play basic lands and can ignore the primary pieces of hate that this deck is throwing out. So things like D&T and Miracles can be a little bit rough. So I would say those are the worst. Miracles has been really hard for me. I don't have a great win percentage there. Yeah, so Big Red is another example, right? Like, it's a deck that plays basic lands and does not care about your primary hate pieces. So any deck that fits that category is going to be hard. Yeah, my win percentage with D&T against Red Prison is absurdly high. It was almost 100%. I lost it like 2 weeks ago at the Duel for Duels, and I think that was the first time I lost it since I started doing record keeping. I'm in a pretty good position now. Like, my opponent is back a land, and I'm going to get to play this second Chalice around another days. And that resolving would be very good for me. And then I'll have, like, Bridge and Chandra as strong follow-up plays. Which do I want to play here? Moon is a stronger lock if it resolves. Chalice can play around Daze, but not Spell Pierce or Force. If I resolve the Moon now, I prevent my opponent from playing like a Delver or a Bitter Blossom. Or an Angler. I'm going to play Moon, so that if I draw a land next turn, I can play Chandra, Chandra Plus, and then Chalice. Let's see if I get punished by Daze. Hydroblast. Okay. HC Fox, I don't think you can make a statement like the correct call of cutting Grudge for Braids. Like, those cards do very different things and hedge against different portions of the metagame. Like, both are very, very viable cards. Yeah, we live in a weird world right now, Zach. Alright, so they're running out of counterspells. They have to be. So that's a second counterspell, a third if you consider Hydroblast as one. Yes, Min. So, Romario, do you really want to switch decks after doing decently well with Turbo Depths? Yes, Snyder, I've tested it before. I was relatively unimpressed by it. Like, in many of the, like, aggro-y matchups, it's really dangerous to bring that in. Which way do I want to do this? I think I want a moon. Alright, that's Counterspell 4 of the game. So, like, for example, let's say you're playing against Burn. You can't really bring in Fallout against Burn, but you can bring in Kozilek's Return. There's a lot of things like that that I think very much matter. Yeah, my opponent's draw is absolutely baller. So I need to draw a land this turn so I can resolve Magus. And I need to really draw... And then I need... Sorry, then I need to play Bridge. I can't just play Bridge now because of the Ancient Grudge. The artifact lands are for Karn. I don't think I have any draws that get me back into this game at this point. I'm hoping to draw Ancient Tomb so I can kill myself, but I don't even get that dignity. Let's see. Lunch is at noon. I can jam a few more games. So Snyder, what I meant by that is decks like Burn. There are plenty of other aggressive decks where, like, K-Return is so good to board in, but Fiery Confluence would not be. And even against Grixis Delver, the Fiery Confluence is only really good in the, like, mid-game. Opponent has played Delver and Nick Fit recently. I'm on the draw. I get turn 2 Karn or turn 2 Rabblemaster with this hand, and I don't have to choose on turn 1, so this is fine. Well, I guess this is just Ancient Tomb and pass, and I'll probably plan on playing City of Traders Karn next turn. Ugh. Don't really know what my opponent's playing yet. 2 Thoughtseizes is a little unusual. Opponent has a Nicol Bolas avatar, and Nicol Bolas in his name. If he's not casting Nicol Bolas, we riot. In before Bug Nick Fit. Go. Well, this is probably good. Esper Stoneblade? Question mark? Or maybe Deathblade? I don't really want to attack my Magus into a Snapcaster Mage. We are hiding. Why play Chrome Box? To play around a potential flashed-in Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, I don't think my opponent is going to be playing Spellstarter Sprite, which is why I didn't play out that Chrome Box. I don't think that's happening. Alright, so we're playing against some sort of Deathblade deck, so I probably want the Spyglass. Probably want Confluence just to go to the Dome. Probably want Chaos Work for Planeswalkers. That's probably it. Ooh, actually, I probably want the Abrades too, right? Like, just dealing with equipment or a Deathrite Shaman, that's good flexibility. I probably want that too. So Bridge isn't great, but it's one of my few outs to True Name. So some number of these probably need to stay. Rabble Master isn't the best place to be against Batterskulls. I don't know exactly how to board for this. I haven't played against this very much. I don't think we're going to go quite that deep, but thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, I think I'm going to plan on playing a prisoning game. So, like, let's get these Rabble Masters out. I mean, I don't really care what versions of cards people play with. I like to play with foreign language cards, but, like, when people foil out their decks, it looks nice. But I don't like promo Mirroring Crusader. I think that's an abomination. It's disgusting. So I don't think I want a Confluence. Like the fourth confluence. And maybe I trim one bridge? I don't know, it's so important for true name. Oh shoot, 9 seconds. Shoot. 61. I'm gonna keep this with a soul land or a piece of mana acceleration. This is pretty good. I'm a master. Oh, neat. It just worked. That probably means I have like a disenchant though. Yeah, go with your basics. Whew. Oh man, no disenchant on Chalice. Does that mean Council's Judgment on Chalice, or does that mean I'm just like getting a free roll? Get out. Alright. Opponent is getting closer to domain. I'm fine with attacking the Magus into another Snapcaster here. Because, like, since my opponent is mostly playing around the moon at this point, the Magus doesn't have a ton of value. It's the Chandra that's going to do work. What are you doing over there, opponent? Like, what do you have? I guess it's just, like, infinite one-drops, but, like, why did you keep that hand? Like, you knew what you were playing against. You knew what you were getting yourself into. To be fair, they fetched 2 of the basics. So, like, they got 3 basic lands, but I guess their hand was just, like, mono cantrips or something like that. But, like, why did they keep their hand? Did they just keep their hand because they had fetch lands? Yeah, static grip. It like must be. It must have been just like brainstorms ponders. Yeah, no cantrip turn 1 is suspect. Alright, I don't know what my opponent's playing, but my hand doesn't do anything, so it's going back. Man, it's your favorite thing in the world. It's here. It's a turn 1 chalice. Actually... If I keep that land, I can turn 3 Chandra. I'll probably draw another, so I'm going to bottom that. Alright, so we're playing against depths. I can turn 1 Rabbly Rabble, but I think I'm just going to turn 2 Chandra. Fiery Confluence to get both of those would feel pretty disgusting. Now I can Chalice on 2? That seems gross. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is enough to both Chalice on 2 and Rabble Master. Alright, well that was easy. Alright, so versus depths. So we're going Confluences out, Spyglass, Chaos Warp in. I can also see an argument for Scab Clan Berserker. Like, it's just an aggressive card that gets people dead. I might do that on the play. Maybe on the draw it's just too slow. I can see it being too slow on the draw. I'm going to seriously consider it on the play, though. So I can get really aggressive with the turn 2 Karn. So it'd be like Great Furnace to this turn, Chrome Mox, Imprint, Spirit Guide, Play Mountain, Exile Spirit Guide next turn, Karn minus. That'd make a 1/2. That'd make a 3/3 into a 4/4. So I'd have a pair of 4/4s. So this is an aggressive hand, but it's not disruptive in any way, and it's going to fold to a duress or a Thoughtseize. HC Fox, I have played Dead Gone in this. It's awkward, because like you want to play that against Delver too, where you're also playing Chalice, so... I'm going to ship this one. This is also very bad. This is pretty good. That is amazing. So my opponent probably takes the bridge, and then I'll just produce a turn 2 Rabble Master. Alright, that probably means that my opponent has a follow-up piece of disruption, so I'm probably losing this bridge too. So very glad I mulliganed the first hand. The Thoughtseize taking the card would have just left me stone cold dead. I just want to get that into play before it gets taken. The Chandra isn't really all that good in the face of Vampire Hexmage. I think I'm going to play this one nice and slow. And just, like, not die to a random Abrupt Decay. I understood what you meant, HC Fox. Yeah, I'd much rather lose the Chandra than the other bridge. So the big card that I need to beat now is Rite of Consumption. So if I draw a Chalice, I'll want to Chalice on 2. And it is so annoying that my, like, my PC tower doesn't fit under the desk. I can't actually, like, sit at a reasonable distance. Let me try this. I'll just be, like, super far away from the chat. Yeah, this is never too far away from the chat if I do that. Yeah, little tree fellow's real sad, not dropping any leaves, making any green mad. I guess rather than playing that spirit guide as a creature, I could have like saved it to imprint it for like just that exact draw. So I guess that was a misplay. So I guess like due to that misplay, I guess I chalice on 1 with my first chalice. Because if I just keep it, my opponent's likely to like Thoughtseize or Duress me. Yeah, like I'm fine if my opponent has to use the Hex Mage to get the chalice off the table. That's in fact something that quite favors me. Yeah, if I would have imprinted the Spirit Guide to Chrome Box the previous turn, I now have a chalice on 2, and my opponent wouldn't have been able to resolve that. I'd also be able to resolve this Chandra right now. Holy shit, I'm getting so punished for that. I don't want to imprint that. I'm fine with just taking 2 damage. I can't cast the Chandra. City of Traders is a mountain. I'm essentially just in the situation where I just have to not lose this game, and a bunch of chalices and moons and bridges will keep me in that situation. So I have plenty of time to like find a way to win. But this game's gonna go really slowly. Yay, mowing. I can keep this in my hand for a turn. It can't resolve due to my own chalice. Master, no, I do not. I don't think you can play a deck like Lantern in Legacy. Like, the closest we've ever had to that is, like, Counterbalance Top with Miracles, and that was so much more objectively powerful and required playing fewer bad cards. I just think that's, like, far too clunky for Legacy. I am indeed in the South. Although I'm more north than I usually am. I'm currently in Northern Virginia. I'm near Richmond. So opponents should have, like, used a Hex Mage to kill this Chalice and then played another Hex Mage if they wanted to do something like that. Yeah, that was a strong play, Romario. I agree. Next level gaming right there. Maybe like a Walker or a Fiery Confluence. I have so many permanents. They have assembled into a new tactical formation. I don't really know why my opponent's continuing to play. Like, I'm not sure, like, in what world did they win this through 5 different moon effects? And I have too many guys for the yeah. Okay, I can get it in one more match. Lunch for me here at Latin Academy is at noon, so I kind of have to be there on time to watch the kiddos. If I run a minute or two late, that's okay, but because the classes get over at noon, and it usually takes them 5 minutes to kind of get over to the dining area. But that's why I'm playing Red Prison. I have a greater flexibility in, like, when my matches are over. Technically could have won through Bitter Blossom or Lily Last Hope Ultimate. Yeah, sure, that's fine. I don't know if, like, I wonder if they played a Bitter Blossom if I would have raced them, like, life total wise. Because if I just, like, draw a Fiery Confluence and nug them, or, like, draw a Fiery Confluence, won the board, and then nug them, I might just, like, change that equation entirely. Alright. Magic Man for 20. Opponent played Elves in 2017. I'm going to keep this. It's not the turn 1 Chalice I want, but it's a turn 2 Chalice. And I have a lot of gas in this hand, so, like, any land or mana source that I draw is just actively good. Basic planes, yes. We have a parade. So, like, we have a chariot. The kids will be dressing up in their Roman garb. We'll be doing the parade. We go and we get some stuff from a food cart. It's kind of cool. I'm just gonna play a chalice on one off mountain instead of Great Furnace in case my opponent like naturally has Rex Sage in hand. I don't want to lose that land like in the immediate short term. And then I do a presentation on a Miyazaki movie as a joint activity with the Latin Academy and the Japanese Academy. It's quite a bit of fun. We will be watching Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. I'm going to cast a second Chalice on one. Just to get it out of my hand for, like, Trinisphere Bridge reasons. If one of these cards gets Rex Saged, it's now the Trinisphere rather than a Chalice, at least immediately. And once I wipe their board with Fiery Confluence, we will likely be done. Like, there's still natural order kills to worry about. This isn't the most, like, value Fiery Confluence you're ever going to get out of Elves, but, like, just killing 2 bodies, taking 2 mana away from Gaia's Cradle, takes away some of the fear of just, like, immediate death to natural order. And if they just go, like, Dryad, Arbor, like, natural order me that way and just create a Crater Hoof, I can just make constructs that are bigger than that, due to, like, Great Furnace being an artifact. I'm just going to play Sinkhole here. So we do a different movie each year at Latin Academy. We've done Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, and Princess Mononoke in the last couple of years. Next turn, dig for a Blood Moon, just like twist the knife in and turn it. So Rabblemaster is going to suck. Like, the board is going to get, like, super clogged. So this isn't an effective way to fight them. So my notes say, get rid of that. And 1 Moon. Bring in Confluence and K-Return. And a Braid. And then when I'm on the play, I'll switch a Karn for a Blood Moon. Yeah, Spirited Away was great. I love that one. Turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Blood Moon, turn 3 Ensnaring Bridge. I accept. Like, a 5 mana 10/10 is, like, super exciting to me from just, like, a design standpoint. God, what was the name of that card? Was it Colonian Hydra that has like 8 green symbols in its mana cost or something absurd like that? I opened one of those relatively early on in my Magic career, and I was like, "Holy cow, this is insane!" Yeah, I think that the 10/10 is a vanilla or very close to it, but it's just big. It's just a big play. All right. Yeah, so it can be chump block for days. It has the keyword thick. That it does, Rob. That it does. Oh no, so Colonian Hydra is the counter one. Rex Sage, what are you getting? Rex Sage takes out the Chalice. Strong, strong. Deathrite Shaman. Alright, so the thing I'm worried about now is exactly what's happening. It's drawing too many lands, so I can't empty my hand for Ensnaring Bridge. I'm likely to just get beaten down by these creatures. Colony Hydra, yes, thank you. That is what I'm thinking of. Like, it's a little hard to tell whether or not my opponent is overextending or not because I don't know their hand. Right, I understand there is a need to be cautious of sweepers, but at the same time, there's a need to put more pressure into play, right? So, my opponent might have been playing out the Deathrite Shaman in order to, like, create a difference between a, like, 4 damage a turn clock and 5 damage a turn clock, or they might have played the Deathrite Shaman so that, like, eventually they could produce a black mana either by, like, putting a land into the graveyard or, like, discarding a land to hand size or something like that. So, like, there might be real reasons why they played that out. I haven't played this matchup very many times. the last time I played it against Julian, he just like Operation Hydra'd me in game 2 after I got game 1. I want to kill Elvish Visionary here. In case my opponent gets like a Wirewood. That's what I don't want them to have. Yeah, so when I played Julian last time around, he got me good. Yeah, so I got like turn 2 natural order for turn 2 or 3 natural order for Progenitus in game 2 or something like that, and then in game 3 he got an Elder Scale Worm, and I just couldn't beat that. Alright, the Rex Sage is gone. That's a big weight off of my shoulders. Now I just need to, like, stop drawing freaking lands. So I can empty my hand, and then I won't die to Pinhorn Elves, which would be an embarrassing death. Well... that is unexpected. Yeah. Okay. Not really sure how to beat that yet. It's really good to know about that. Alright, I'm just gonna think, is there any world where I can beat this? The Rebel Masters are in the sideboard, so that out isn't gonna work. I can't cast any of the rest of the stuff that really matters. Alright. Alright. Alright, didn't expect to lose that. I now have some important knowledge, though. Know my opponent has Rurik Thar. So, like, I might want to randomly play out some Chrome Moxen for no value. Am I fine with City, Exile, Spirit Guide, play Magus on 1, and hope that it gets my opponent? You bet I am. Elves doesn't actually play that many lands. And what I mean by that is, like, actual forests. They have, like, 2 forests in their deck. That seems decent. I don't really know if Rabble Master is good. Like, sure, it's fine on the play, but so is like everything else you could possibly be doing. And Rabble Master is probably not better than Chandra. Yes, I did successfully gain all of the fun. That is correct. Yeah, we can cast that. 6 damage to each opponent. My opponent has had enough. Alright, folks, so we're 3-0 in this league. Let me look at my schedule real quick. So today's Tuesday. Next Greek day is Thursday. Okay, you can expect another stream from me Thursday morning, maybe around 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time until a little before noon, once again. After that, my next possible stream time is Sunday morning. Scheduling is going to be a little weird. My stream times are going to be sporadic. So if you want to see some legacy content, please follow me so that you get announcements about when I'm going live. And if you really want to support my channel and what I'm doing for the legacy community, please consider donating. You'll get a donation deck list request in return, or subscribe to my channel and help me play more legacy and produce more content. All right, I'm Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, and I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see many of you again soon.